Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the On Purpose Over Paycheck podcast. I am your host, Troy, and we are just diving into some real heavy but important discussions about moving from the security of working someone else's dream into pursuing your dream. All right, pursuing your dream. Today's episode is titled When Visibility Feels Vulnerable, and we're going to really dive into that. In our last episode, we talked about the expansion process and all the things that will happen when you're shifting from the old self into the new identity that you are creating. So welcome back, welcome back. Now, today's episode is a specific one because it talks about this one moment in growth. The moment when your life begins to expand and suddenly you're more visible than you used to be. All right? You become more seen, you become more noticed, and you become more exposed. So instead of feeling confident, you will feel a bit of tenderness. That's not weakness, friend. All right? That's not weakness. That's just your nervous system responding to the change. All right, so let's dive in. So why does visibility sometimes feel like a threat? Well, the human nervous system is wired for belonging. We are social animals, or humans, mammals, whatever you want to call us. We are social beings, right? So we're wired for belonging. We want companionship. We want that friendships and relationship. For most of our history, being seen by the group meant evaluation, judgment, acceptance, or rejection. Those are the things that we'll go through. So when visibility increases, your body doesn't interpret it as opportunity. What it will do, it'll start to interpret it as, am I safe here? Do I belong here? Will I be rejected? And what happens is that visibility activates our ancient survival wiring, even when modern circumstances are safe. Now, the myth that confidence comes first, many people think you're supposed to feel confident before you become visible. But here's the reality. Confidence will usually come after visibility, not before. The visibility is the training ground. And in this training ground, this is where you'll learn how to regulate while being seen, how to tolerate attention, how to stay grounded under observation. This confidence is built through exposure, not before it. One thing I want to share about that is right now I have been doing some challenges on my TikTok and Instagram and Threads, and I'm starting to become noticed. Today, just in recording this, I've hit over 5,000 followers on my TikTok, which is absolutely amazing, but it means that now I'm being seen. Certain of my videos have already hit over 40,000 views, and they just keep coming and coming and coming, right? So it means that everything that I just said is I have to regulate and how I'm being seen. I have to tolerate this attention, and I have to stay grounded. Right? Even some people have commented some crazy things in my TikTok and Instagram and Threads. I still have to tolerate being seen, right? I can't take what they're saying to heart because everyone has an opinion. So now that I'm becoming visible, this is the things that you start to experience. So when you're growing, this will make you more visible. And the expansion, right? As you expand, naturally, your work will start to reach more people. Your voice will start to become clearer, and your presence starts to strengthen. Visibility isn't something you choose. It's something that this expansion and growth will create. And when the identity is still integrating, being seen can feel misaligned because your system hasn't updated yet. All right? Your system hasn't updated yet. You'll get this protective urge to hide. And this is often where people unconsciously will pull back. They will delay posting. They avoid sharing their ideas, they will downplay their achievements, or they'll shrink their presence. Not because they don't want to be seen, because their nervous system is trying to protect them from perceived threats. And that urge deserves compassion, not judgment. So, when we start hitting that level of visibility, it is not performance. One of the most important reframes is visibility does not require performance. You don't need to be polished. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be certain or impressive. What you need to do is just be present. And I've done that in my experience to share with you is I don't focus on the production of my posts or my videos. I'm very raw when I post. If I stumble over words, as you'll see even in my podcast, if I stumble over words, it doesn't affect me because I'm just going to be me, right? I'm showing up as my true, authentic, new identity. I'm not here about, let's make it look pretty. Let's make it look like a movie, movie trailer kind of thing. I'm not Hollywood. All right. You just need to be present. And the presence is safer for the nervous system than the performance. And presence is what people will actually trust. When you just start showing up, right? When you just start showing up, you start to build the trust with the people you interact with. If you're feeling nervous about being seen, I want you to hear this. You're not afraid of the visibility. What you're afraid of is being misunderstood, judged, or rejected. That's what you're really afraid of. And that fear doesn't mean you should hide. That fear doesn't mean you should stop posting. That fear doesn't mean I give up. It means that your system is learning how to belong in a larger and bigger space. And friend, that is going to take some time. That's going to take some time. So we need to start letting the visibility build our capacity. Our visibility builds tolerance very slow. When you start getting noticed, when you start being visible, the first time feels intense. Then the 10th time feels manageable. The 100th time feels natural. And trust me, I've been through those 3 different steps of process because now I'm very just natural. I look at people when I post a video. If they comment something crazy, I acknowledge them. I respond professionally. Sometimes I may not respond. But the thing is, it's now natural. Now, at the very beginning, I felt intense. I was like, oh my gosh, why is this person saying this, right? But what happens is your nervous system starts to learn, I survived this. I'm still safe. I'm still me. And the capacity for being seen is trained, just like any other capacity that we work with or deal with. So when I'm choosing to stay safe in my visibility, not all visibility needs to be maximal. You're allowed to choose where you show up, how much you share, when you speak. Safety matters more than exposure. Growth does not require self-exploitation. What it does is it requires self-protection with openness. So, you might come across where a question will pop in your head and you might say, well, why am I feeling so uncomfortable being seen? You need to reframe that question to say, what part of me is learning to belong in this bigger room? At the very start, I did feel uncomfortable at a time for being seen. Like, oh my gosh, people are, like I told you, I have 5,000 followers. Just within 24 hours, I hit 5,000 followers. And my videos are just the scene in the comments. Like every time I open the apps, I'm like having to like at least 40 or more comments. So I know I'm being seen. But I'm not saying why is I feel uncomfortable about this. What I'm doing is, what am I learning to become? Who am I becoming in this bigger room? That question will soften the fear into curiosity. And when you change it, curiosity makes the visibility feel a little bit less dangerous. A little bit less dangerous. But it's crazy. But through this process, there's a lot of learning going on. And we're going to talk about the outgrowing relationships without burning bridges, right? We're going to outgrow certain relationships, but how do we do that without burning these bridges? Okay. We're going to talk about that in the next episode, which is going to really look at the connections, the loyalty, and the belonging. That's what we're going to do in our next episode. But let me tell you, it's quite a journey, so just be ready. All right. Before I go, I want to leave you with this. If something in this episode today resonated with you, or you had this little quiet nudge saying, there's more for me. I know there's more for me. I'm going to let you know that that's not an accident. In my Linktree, I have created a collection of ebooks, journals, and self-identifying shifting tools that will help you stop repeating these same patterns that you're experiencing. And they will guide you into becoming the new version of you who will start to naturally attract the life, peace, and abundance that you were born for, friend, that you were born for. It's not about motivation. It's about the whole entire transformation. You will find everything inside my Linktree, including my ebooks. My favorite one is Manifest Like You Mean It, 30-day program. Shift talks about energy, frequency, vibration. Aligned, the foundations of the law of attraction and how to manifest. All of those are in there. Many people are starting to get them, which is helping them rewire their mindset and stepping into this aligned success. So where do you go? Just click in the show notes. You'll see my link. It'll say for more information or for more. Go to my Linktree/Troy Rivera. That's Linktree/Troy Rivera. And remember this. You're never going to manifest what you want. You manifest who you become. And through that process, then you start to manifest the things that attract to who you are. All right, if this episode did resonate with you, please make sure you leave a rating, leave a comment, and make sure you are following the podcast. If you know anyone who's going through this type of transition as I am, make sure you share this podcast out with them so they can catch up and go through the process and understand that everything that they're doing is okay. All right? Good. All right, something to remember. Being seen is not a test of worth. Being seen is a sign that your life is expanding. Yes, your life is expanding. All right, friend, that's all I have for this episode today. Tune in to our next episode where we're going to dive a little bit more deeper into what we've been talking about. It has been such a transformational experience, and I enjoy sharing every bit with you through this entire process of what I'm going through. All right, my friend, and as I always say, talk to you soon.